I have manifested everything I wanted in my life. All of it.
Oh, really? Then you should be dead.
That's my question. It's like, why stay
Why
alone?
are you even here? Something's gone wrong with the universe. Oh, we know what it is. You don't know what you're talking about. In other words, you have not manifested everything that you want. It's like Esther was with grandchildren at some fireworks in Canada many years ago, and they were different than Esther had ever seen before. They had created fog, and it was lots of low lights, and instead of the fireworks that she was used to seeing, it was all close against the ground. It was different and magnificent. And Esther said, "Isn't this just the most beautiful fireworks you've ever seen?" And Laurel said, "So far." And that's really how we want you to feel. So far. So far. Because what we want you to take away from what we've been talking about already, you have a vortex full of things that have not come to pass yet. So for you to say that you've received everything that you've ever wanted, we know is flatly not true.
Thank you. I agree.
Okay. So why did you say that?
Because I had like a year ago or 2 years an existential fatigue. So I was very confused with why I wanted to manifest. I wasn't sure what.
But what we're getting at is that's two sentences that you've offered to us that we've played with you about, because it's words that you hear around, but they're not words that are accurate to what's going on. As you begin feeling more about what's really going on, then you have a better and better opportunity to come into vibrational alignment with them. And so what we're suggesting is that if you can get to the heart of what you're feeling, then we can have some conversations and some things can happen fast. So true to what we've been talking about already, let's start this creation the way we were describing that creations begin. What is at the heart of this question? What are you feeling? And it doesn't matter if you think it's a positive or a negative thing. What is the feeling that is inducing this conversation? What's the feeling?
Exhaustion.
Well, isn't that good to know? I'm tired. So here's a part of the answer. You're tired because you're using action for things instead of using energy. And the action that you're using is working against. And so that is exhausting. So then what does that make you want to say?
Does it make me?
What did our answer then make you want to reply? You said exhausted, and we said that's because you're going about it the hard way. You're not going about it with the path of least resistance. You're not using energy and non-physical resources if you're exhausted. And so then what's the next thing that you want to say to us?
The first thing that comes to my mind is keep at it at being a...
Say what?
Keep at it at being a service. Doing even more.
Keep doing the things that exhaust me? Really? Doing the same thing that doesn't work over and over and over again, expecting it to start working. And so that's what a lot of people are doing with their actions. So what do you mean about service?
Well, and this existential fatigue, right? Doing the same, I agree, doing the same thing, expecting different results. It's a definition of insanity. I don't want to keep doing the same things. But when I was lost, and what I do next, what do I manifest next? When I have,
but you see, here's the thing. When you feel lost, and it's been going on for a while, so you're really feeling it, there's another end of the stick that's activated that is found. There's lost, and there's secure, and there's timid and afraid, and there's confident. And so even though you can't feel this, we're trying to convince you that it does exist and that your inner being is there. So knowing that, or even suspecting that that might be a little bit true, wouldn't your next question be, well, how do I find the found? And we say, look for it where it is. Well, where is it? It hasn't manifested yet. It's not in my bank account yet. Well, don't look for it where it isn't. Look for it where it is. But Abraham, I can't see it where it is. You just told me that it's just a smear, or that it's just a vibration. I can't look for it where it really is, which is right. You can't look for it or sniff for it, but you could feel for it. So what does the opposite of lost feel like? There is an obvious awareness. See, a lot of people, they want to fight this notion that I really know what I don't want. I don't want to be lost, and I don't want to be unseen, and I don't want to be unheard, and I don't want to not have any money. But in that knowing what you don't want, there absolutely is a knowing of what you do want. It takes a willingness to kind of feel for it. You know how lost feels. What does found feel like?
That's what I think I failed to communicate. when I said at service, now I found that I want to help people that have substance use disorders, something I have never done in my life before. I want to be a therapist. I want to help. That's what I meant, to be more at service.
So,
which is my next question.
So you skipped over some steps, and so you can't get there from here. You figured out what you need to do to feel found, but you didn't describe to us in a meaningful enough way that we believe that you found the feeling of found, because if you'd found the feeling of found and had rested in it a little bit, then ideas would come to you from right where you are. In other words, is that what happened? Did you find the feeling of found, and then it just occurred to you that what you would do is help lost people be found?
Kind of.
Can you see what we're getting at? What we're saying to you is, we're not saying that you haven't found a really good idea of something that you want to do, but you want to flesh it out. You want to live in the vibration until you are found. Are you found?
I think so. Not sure.
So talk to us a little bit about what your plan is.
Well, my plan, I'm already doing it, is, I think one of the things that since I'm little, I've never felt that a sense of belonging in this planet, on this world. And I think that cause that I have since I'm 8 years old, panic attacks. I will end up in the ER 3 times a year, 3 days crying, and lately that's why I stopped.
But everything that you're saying is not about what we asked. Talk to us from your found position, not from your lost position.
From my found position, when I feel that whatever gift the universe gave me, because in every room I arrive, every person I interact with, I feel that I leave something, and I agree, it's not just giving the money.
We don't disagree with you. So why are you talking to us? What is it that you're looking for here?
Okay, one question then. So,
I'm trying to regret not letting you read that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read it. I have worked a lot of all of my attachments in life, attachment to money, fame, success, we spoke before, all of it.
You're letting go of all of your attachments?
Yeah, I let go of all of my attachments.
So all of these things that you manifested, you decide that you have to let them go. Why?
Because I don't want them anymore. I don't want to feel, I don't want them.
Even though they represent the evolution of knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, finding a vibrational alignment with it, ideas coming and manifestations happening, then they no longer apply because they don't represent the success of creation?
No, they represent who I am today, and I'm very proud of them. But I don't want, let's say, to put it more, I don't want to go back to that life. I want a new life. So I don't have any attachment to any of those things that I manifested before. I'm very proud of them. I love them, made them who I am. But I'm not attached to them anymore.
Would you have to carry them all with you everywhere you go?
Yeah, I call myself version 4.0, Carlos. To come to 4.0, you have to go to 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will not change anything. I love everything I manifested.
But what we're getting at, even in the wanting to let all of that go, there's a sort of pushing against it. And it is not in harmony with your intention when you came into this physical body. You said, I'm going into a physical place. We're not saying that everything that you've ever created you have to drag around with you forevermore. That's not the point. But it's quite a different thing to say, I'm letting go of everything like it's an attachment when your inner being sees it as a creation that could buoy you, that validates how the universe works, that is about the law of attraction, and it's about you finding vibrational alignment with it. So is what you're conveying to us and what you're conveying to the people, we're really asking this, the people that you're helping, is that don't feel bad that you don't have anything, because having things is not the answer. What you want to do is spiritual stuff, and I'm going to demonstrate how spirituality is so much more important than...
No, I failed to communicate. I didn't mean that.
We're listening.
Yeah, I failed to communicate. When I meant
slowly, talk slowly.
Yeah. When I meant if you are touched of having winning the lottery, having $1 billion, we all humans.
Is that what you're letting go of? Did you win it?
Yeah, no, wanted to have money. No, but money is beautiful.
And so you're letting go of wanting to have money?
Yeah, it's not necessary for me now, but I don't judge it.
But we want to help you find the distinction of you're wanting to let go of a desire.
Yeah, the attachment. I want money, yes, but now the attachment to it. That's what I'm failing to communicate. The attachment.
You see, we're talking about the same thing, but you're going about it in such a hard way. We're asking you to go to the vortex where there is no money, where there's love and clarity and certainty and security and foundness and well-being and home. And so we're talking about the same thing, but you're talking about it in a way that won't work because you're saying, I'm letting go of all of that I'm not letting go of. I'm letting go of all of that I'm not letting go of. I'm letting go of all of that I'm not letting go of. Because when you're focused upon it, you're not letting go of it. You're talking about it. It's in your vibration, and that's why you're feeling this. You certainly can talk about that, but don't talk about that in opposition to that, like I never should have done that, like that was a mistake. Everything that you now are came as a result of everything that you've lived before. So it's all been of value. It's all been of value. Just like those that you're wanting to help and uplift are living what's of value to them. Can you feel the difference?
Yeah.
Can you feel the difference?
One last question of being there. How I know I understand love, energy, things, we're getting old.
Flesh this out a little more.
When I failed to communicate about the attachment, the only thing I'm having a short circuit with, the major, is me getting old, my body getting old, my vessel.
Moving through time?
Yeah.
Or declining. You know what makes people...
The physical part.
Well, do you know what decline is all about? Tug of war. And what we talked about here is that I want to teach this, but I've got to let go of that. That's a tug of war. So just teach that. When you're teaching that, you don't have hold of that, but you're not pushing against that either. It's always resistance that slows you down, that bogs you down, that short circuits or slows the natural progression of becoming. You're an eternal being, so you're never going to stop becoming. Well, you've learned to just take it and not argue with us because you know we're not going to let it go. But as you listened here, did you get a sense of what we're talking about? And do you recognize things in your own experiences that sort of mimic the conversation that we just had here? It's very human to be standing where you are and evaluating where you are and making a decision about where you'd rather be by talking about how you don't want any more of that. That's what step one really is. You did all of that. Do you know that all of your work, you might say, all of your effort, you might say, all of your trying, all of that hard stuff, all of your gearing down and getting it going, it's all in step one. Because life comes to you, and you are where you are, and life comes to you, and then you have reactions to how it's coming to you. And what's the reason for the reaction? The reason for the reaction about the way life is touching you is because your inner being is aware of it and has a feeling about it, and you are aware of it and having a feeling about it. And those feelings sometimes blend and sometimes don't, because it's a very human thing for humans to feel like the victim, or like they're being taken advantage of, or like they just don't know enough, or like they should be doing something different. And your inner being is never, ever, 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 ever going to agree with that. Your inner being knows that every experience you have in life has informed you in some way to your advantage 100% of the time. And so when you stand in something that you're not wanting to live, and you look around and you see other people living differently, or maybe living better, or you've tried something and it didn't work out, and so you say, I'm never going to do that again. What we really want you to hear is that every single time you're talking about what you no longer want, every single time you talk about how I'm leaving that behind, every single time you are doing something that your inner being never ever does, because your inner being always looks forward to what you have informed your inner being that you want. You can do that too. But most everybody is all wrapped up in all of the dialogue and all of the self-help whatever, or religious whatever, or opinion from the peanut gallery of whatever. And that's why we're asking you, really asking you to leave this gathering with a new, more pointed intention of finding, as best you can, as often as you can, the feeling of the vortex. Because as you find that feeling, then you will be in active cahoots with your inner being. And you and your inner being will be this blended point of attraction that will be gathering the cooperative components to you. And what you'll find is ease and flow. Never regret. What you'll find is fresh new ideas. Never regret. What you'll find is cooperative others, never obstinate. So much of what you said to us here today, we recognized so vividly because we watched you live it and we saw you put it in your vortex. But as you're speaking about it from not in your vortex, then it's just words that are not actively accomplishing anything. Whereas you're finding the feeling place of what wasn't there, but the feeling place of what is here,